All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the internet itself. We're going to explore HTML, which is the fundamental language that gives every single website its structure. So let's get to it. Have you ever really stopped to think about what holds every single website together? I mean, from your favorite blog all the way to those huge online stores. It turns out there's this one universal blueprint underneath it all. And yep, that's HTML. Today, we're going to decode it.
So, here's our game plan. First, we'll figure out what HTML really is. We'll call it the web skeleton. Then, we're going to roll up our sleeves and actually build a basic web page from scratch. After that, we'll start adding stuff like text and lists, make it interesting with links and images, and finally, I'll point you in the right direction to keep your journey going.
Okay, let's get into it. What exactly is this invisible architecture that's holding up everything we see online? Let's break it down.
Now, the keywords here are markup language. This is super important because HTML isn't what you'd call a programming language. It's not doing complex math or anything like that. No, its only job is to give meaning and structure to content. It's basically telling the web browser, hey, this bit of text, that's a heading. Or this is a paragraph. It's all about describing what things are, not how they should do something.
I love this analogy. It makes it so clear. Just think of a website like it's a person, right? HTML is the skeleton. It's the bones, the core structure. CSS, that's all the style, the clothes, the hair color, the whole look. And JavaScript? Well, that's the brain and nervous system. It's what makes everything interactive. For today, though, we are laser-focused on that all-important skeleton. Okay, theory is one thing, but let's be real. Coding is all about doing. So let's actually build something. We're going to start with the absolute bare-bones anatomy that you'll find on literally every single web page out there.
So, believe it or not, every HTML page has these 4 essential parts. First up, you've got the doc type. That's just a little note to the browser saying, hey, you're about to read an HTML file. Then, the HTML tag wraps around absolutely everything else. Inside that, you have the head. This is for all the hidden info, the stuff you don't actually see, like the title that shows up in your browser tab. And finally, the body. This is where all the magic happens. Everything you can actually see on a web page, it goes right in there.
So if you were to actually save this code and open it in a browser, you'd see this. A totally blank page. But wait, don't be fooled. The structure is totally there. Look closely at the browser tab. See where it says page title? That's us. We've successfully built the foundation. Now let's put up some walls.
All right, it's time to fill up that empty body section. And we're going to start with the most basic building block of any website, just plain old text.
Headings are how you give your content a clear structure, a hierarchy. You get 6 levels, from H1, which is your main title, all the way down to a tiny H6. And listen, this isn't just about making text look big or small. It's about creating a logical outline for your page. This is absolutely crucial for things like accessibility screen readers and, you guessed it, for search edges to understand your content.
Now, for pretty much any normal block of text, you're going to wrap it in a P tag, which just stands for paragraph. Simple enough, right? The browser is smart enough to add a little breathing room above and below it, separating it from everything else. This tag is the absolute workhorse. You'll use it for most of your written content.
Okay, pay attention here because this is a really important distinction. You've got 2 ways to make text bold: strong tag and bold. They look the same, but they mean totally different things. Strong tag tells the browser and search engines, hey, this text is important. It has extra meaning. The bold tag, on the other hand, is just for looks. It just makes it bold. That's it. So the rule of thumb is, if the boldness adds actual meaning or importance, always use strong tag.
And what about lists? Super simple. You just start with a UL tag. That stands for unordered list, bullet points. Then for each item you want to add to the list, you wrap it in an LI tag for list item. This is a really great example of how HTML elements nest inside each other to create that structure we've been talking about.
Okay, so our page has structure. It has text. But the web is way more than that, right? It's all about connections and images and all that cool stuff. So let's make our page a little more dynamic.
Aha! This right here is where the hypertext part of HTML comes from. We're talking about links. The A tag, or anchor tag, is what you use. Whatever text you put inside it becomes the clickable part. And that href attribute, that's just telling the browser where to go when someone actually clicks the link.
To get an image on your page, you'll use the MG tag. Now, notice this one's a little different. It's self-closing. It needs two really important pieces of information or attributes. First is src, which is just the source, where to find the image file. The second is alt for alternative text. And please do not skip the alt text. It's absolutely critical for accessibility, and it's what shows up if the image breaks for some reason. It's a must-have.
And just like that, you now have the essential building blocks for basically any web page. Pretty cool, right? So, what's next? Let's talk about how you can take this knowledge and really start creating.
Okay, so here's some advice to get you started. First, grab a good text editor. Something like Visual Studio Code makes life way easier. Next, get familiar with an online validator. It'll check your code for any little mistakes. But honestly, the most important thing you can do is just practice, practice, practice. Build something small, like a page about yourself or your favorite recipe. You learn so much more by doing. And hey, when you get stuck, and you will, we all do, resources like the MDN web docs are an absolute lifesaver.
And that's really it. That's our crash course in HTML. You now literally understand the language that structures the entire digital world. The blueprint is in your hands. So the only question left is, what are you going to build first?